Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Today we will hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Shloka 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's start by reading the shloka. परिनिष्ठितो अपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीतचेता राजर्षे आख्यान्याम् अधीतवान् परिनिष्ठितो अपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीतचेता राजर्षे आख्यानां यद् अधीतवान् Parinishthita, fully realized, api, in spite of, nirgunaye, in transcendence, uttama, enlightened, shloka, words, leelaya, by the pastimes, grihita, being attracted, chetaha, attention, rajarshe, O saintly king, akhyanam, delineation, yat, that, adhitavan, I have studied. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O saintly king, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम् श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Thank you very much, all the devotees, to come in the morning and hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. I want to thank all the senior devotees. I would be very honest and transparent with all of you. I am myself also a little bit scared because I am going to speak Srimad Bhagavat in front of so many senior devotees. I uh, pray to all of you so that I can do justice to this important shloka and seek blessings from all the senior devotees. to help me go through this path of bhakti and to be able to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we continue further, let's go through the purport. The purport is written by Abhay Charana Ramindram Bhakti Vedanto Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This is a little complicated shloka, and it's the purport also personally I felt to be very difficult when I was reading about it yesterday. So let's go over it. The absolute truth is realized at the first instance as the impersonal Brahman by philosophical speculations, and later as the supersoul by further progress of the transcendental knowledge. So, this statement, first instance as the impersonal Brahman, we will come to this. So, I want to draw your attention this impersonal Brahman by philosophical speculation. But if by the grace of Lord, an impersonalist is enlightened by the superior statements of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also converted into a transcendental devotee of the personality of Godhead. With a poor fund of knowledge, we cannot adjust to the idea of the personality of the absolute truth. And therefore, the personal activities of the Lord are deplored by the less intelligent impersonalist. But reasons and arguments, together with the transcendental process of approaching the absolute truth, help even the staunch impersonalist to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. A person like Sukadeva Goswami cannot be attracted by any mundane activities, but when such a devotee is convinced by a superior method, he is certainly attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, as are his devotee activities. He is neither inactive nor impersonal. So here we need to understand uh, when Sukadev Goswami was born, he was already in transcendental state. When we say transcendental, see, the Prabhupada has mentioned here, situated perfectly in transcendence. So, what do we mean by transcendence? Transcendence is a state where an individual, in this case Sukadev Goswami, was already in transcendental mode even before he was born. Means he is not at all attracted to any materialistic activities like fame, um, attraction to any money, any wealth, family. He was not attracted to anything. He was already in Brahmananda state. Means he is already in a spiritualistic state where he is not at all interested in anything which is materialistic. So, here I want to draw your attention. With a poor fund of knowledge, we cannot adjust to the idea of the personality of absolute truth. So, for impersonalists or people who follow Mayavad, for them, it is very difficult to adjust to this idea that this whole universe, all creation, is created by a personality. And the personality here is Lord Krishna. So, this idea, people who believe in impersonalism or impersonal Brahman or who are Mayavadis, for them it is very difficult to adjust to this idea. And they try to deplore by the and Lord, the activities of the Lord are deplored. Deplored is a complex word here. Means they don't understand the personal activities of the Lord, and they sort of disrespect the personal activities of the Lord, and that's why they're intelligent impersonalists, less intelligent. Who are really intelligent, they will not do that. We will have a story later, I will talk about that. And they try to reason and argument about those personal activities of the Lord, but Lord cannot be understood by reasons or argument, which we have heard from senior devotees in various lectures, Lord can only be understood by the mercy of devotees. And then only the knowledge of Lord comes within our heart. So here there is an important point. Together with the transcendental process of approaching the absolute truth, help the staunch impersonal. Staunch means the people who are very orthodox. They are very difficult to be convinced of this idea that Lord is also personal and he's a person, and to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. So even Sukadev Goswami, when he was born, he was an impersonalist. He didn't believe in the personal activities of the Lord. And by hearing some of the pastimes of the Lord, he also became attracted. And since I was mentioning that since his birth, he was an impersonalist, he didn't get attracted to anything. He also got attracted to the divine qualities and the forms and the characteristic of the Lord. So this particular canto is, and the first chapter of this canto is about the first steps in the God realization. This is a very important chapter. This is the first step as devotees we can take toward to understand the process, how we can realize God. So in the first chapter, first shloka to 11th shloka, it mentions about the superiority of bhakti and what are mundane topics and how generally we should avoid such things so that we can progress in the path of bhakti. Then glory of bhakti yoga, chanting, hearing and remembering the Lord name and form are the most worthy ways of progression in bhakti. Even the jnanis, karmis and yogis achieve perfection only by bhakti. This we need to understand, and we'll spend some time in this particular shloka today on how jnanis, karmis and yogis achieve perfection. Again, mercy of Lord is required. So there was a point Srila Prabhupada mentioned here. By the grace of the Lord, an impersonalist is enlightened. If there is not, the grace of Lord is not there, by any materialistic mean or any other form of yoga, it is very difficult to understand or progress in the path of bhakti. We definitely need the grace of Lord, again by the mercy of the devotees. This is the point we should uh, take back and keep in our mind. We need grace of Lord and mercy of the bhaktas to progress. From shloka 12 to 14, it's about quality of life, not the quantity. There is a story of Katavanga who got enlightened in one murta, whereas Parikshit Maharaj is 7 days, because Parikshit Maharaj had this question: is 7 days enough to realize the Supreme Personality of Lordhead? And then in the last chapters, we'll read about Ashtanga Yoga, and we will read about Virat Rupa of uh, Lord. Without further ado, here you can see one picture where we see Vyasdev's wife, and Lord Krishna. As I was mentioning, since even before birth, Sukadev Goswami was transcendental, and he didn't want to come out to this materialist world. And he was in the womb of his mother, and we have heard this in the previous classes in the morning, that he was in the womb of his mother for 12 years and he was not interested to come out of from the womb of her mother. Vyasdev tried to convince him, because during that, since Vyasdev was also very close to God and was a great devotee, he was able to speak to Vyasdev even he was in the womb of his mother. So even 9 months, I have seen it's so difficult for a mother to carry a baby for 9 months also. Here, uh, Sukadev Goswami's mother had to keep him in the womb for 12 years. And Vyasdev was trying to convince him to come out, but Sukadev Goswami continued to mention that I don't want to come out to this material world. I will be entangled by Maya, and I will not be able to be in a perfect transcendental state. Vyasdev, after trying a lot of times, he gave up. And then asked Sukadev Goswami, how will you be convinced and you will come out? So uh, and what should I do so that you agree to me and you come out from the womb of his mother? It is becoming so difficult for her, and you have grown up, and to carry you for like 12 years, it is very difficult for her. So there is a saying that you yourself, so he mentioned sort of to Vyasdev that you're still entangled by Maya. How will I get convinced by you? The only person who I can get convinced is by Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna appeared and gave a boon to Sukadev Goswami that Maya will not be having any power on you. So I request you to come out. And that's how he listened to Lord Krishna and came to this material world. So just after the birth, Vyasdev ran away to the forest. As you can understand, when a baby is born, the baby is completely dependent on the mother for everything, food. The mother takes care of the baby and provides all the necessary thing till the baby grows. But in this case, Vyasdev was born at the age of 12 and just ran into the forest without any relation to his parents, Vyasdev or his mother. So Vyasdev wanted, as we know, Vyasdev was a personalist and was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, whereas Sukadev Goswami was impersonalist. Vyasdev used to send his followers to the forest just to convince his son, in this case Sukadev Goswami, to follow and read Srimad Bhagavatam. But since he was already in forest and was not interested in anything, he was trying to send his followers. And as we read in the purport, by uh, superior method, he is certainly attracted by transcendental activities. And in the translation, Sukadev Goswami is saying, I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. So it is said, and various Maharaj in their lectures have mentioned, there are two shlokas, only two shlokas, not many, only two shlokas. Vyasdev asked his followers to go and talk about those. Like we also, when I was also not in Krishna consciousness, used to read some shlokas to find some strength whenever I was not feeling well or was in some sort of stress. There were a couple of shlokas I used to recite. Like similarly, we can take some uh, similarity to that. So Vyasdev used to teach his followers that these two shlokas only you by heart, and as you are going to spread this knowledge, you will be going to forest and there will be whatnot, ghost and other things, so you will be protected. So I will talk about these two shlokas, which are very important shlokas, and these were the two shlokas. By these shlokas actually speaks about the character and the form of Lord Krishna. These two shlokas actually made Shukadev Goswami attracted to Lord Krishna, who was not attracted to anything. So let's hear about this shloka. This first shloka is about the quality of Lord Krishna. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, uh, chapter 2 and the 23rd shloka. It was spoken by Uddhavji. अहो बाकियं स्थानकालाकूतं जिघांसयापाययादपि असाध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्री उचितां तु तोन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम. I will read it once more. अहो बाकियं स्थानकालाकूटं जिघं सयाप्यायादपि असाध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्री उचितां ततोऽन्यां कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेमा. Translation: Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she demon, Putana, although she was unfaithful, and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So here it mentions about the character of Lord Krishna. Even Putana was a great demon, came to kill Krishna by feeding poison in the form of milk. Even to such a person, Lord Krishna gave a position of mother and she was liberated. By hearing this, Sukadev Goswami really got attracted. Who is this personality? Even to such a great demon, he gave the position of mother. So he was really very got attracted. So we devotees or a general humans feel so protected that Krishna is so merciful and that He is there for us. We have to keep on remembering this. He is so merciful. Lord doesn't look at the mistakes or any wrongdoings of His devotees. He even provides all the protection to people like Putana also, so we can have this comfort in our heart that Krishna Rakhibe, he will take care of us. We have to just do devotional service to Krishna. The other very important shloka, which was again heard by Sukadev Goswami, by the followers of Vyasdev. I will read it. बर्हापितं नाटवरवपु कर्णयो कर्णिकारं बिभ्राद्वाशा कङ्का कपिशं वैजन्ति च मालं रन्धरन् वेणोरधरा सुधया पूर्णयं गोपवृन्दैर्वृन्दारण्यं स्वपादारमणा प्रविशाद् गीताकृतिः. So this particular shloka is talking about the beautiful form of Lord Krishna, the personal form. The first one is about the character, and this one is about the form of Lord Krishna. And this form we will hear in translation: wearing a peacock feather, ornament upon his head, blue karnikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland. Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavana, beautifying it with the marks of his footprint. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boy sang his glories. So, this particular shloka was recited by the gopis of Vrindavan. So, it is also stated by Maharaj uh, in various lectures. Some of the senior devotees, when they do japa or think about the Lord, they visualize certain forms of the Lord. So this is one of the very important shloka people do by heart, these two shlokas, and I would request all the devotees to read these shlokas because these shlokas can bring that attraction towards the Lord Krishna. And I have taken a picture of our Mayapur temple. Krishna is so beautiful. You can see wearing this golden yellow dress. Uh, so we can remember these pictures when we are chanting and hearing the shlokas, which the Mahamantra when we recite. So it will build that bhakti for Lord Krishna. So sometimes we feel now I am at least I can tell for myself that now I am getting test in chanting. I am able to focus. I can chant 16 round very comfortably. but we have to learn something from these shlokas here, the shloka we are reading today, that even personalities like Sukadev Goswami, who was um, transcendentalist from the birth itself, is getting reading Srimad Bhagavatam and getting attracted to this shloka. So at least myself, I am so fallen down, and if I think that I have understood and started relishing the chanting the Mahamantra, I am grateful. So we have to regularly read Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam will help us continue success in our path towards bhakti, and we will relish uh, this mellow of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should continuously read Srimad Bhagavatam, and morning classes are great opportunity to be associated with devotees and uh, hear from them on Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as we understood, even a staunch impersonalist like Sukadev Goswami got attracted by these two shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he inquired the followers of Vyasdev, who is this personality? Who is this person who is so beautiful? Where from you heard all this? Who is your guru who has taught you these shlokas? Then the followers of Vyasa, it's your father only who has taught us. Then uh, Sukadev Goswami became so eager, he didn't waste a moment itself, and he ran back to his home, to his father, to learn more about uh, uh, Srimad Bhagavatam, and started learning Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasdev. So there is again an important shloka on similar lines, which speaks about Atmaramaha. Atmarama are the people who are like impersonalists who believe to merge in the Brahma Jyoti and get enlightened by doing meditation, yoga, and uh, other form of yogas to realize the supreme personalities of Godhead. So let's read this shloka. आत्मरामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रन्थ अपि उरुक्रमे कुर्वन्ति अहकुतिं भक्तिं इत्थं भूत गुणो हरि. Suta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So, even the liberated souls can be attracted by the qualities, the transcendental qualities of the Lord. What to speak of us? So, we should read here from devotees about Srimad Bhagavatam so that we can get those attraction to the Lord. Now I will also talk about a story of Ramanujacharya. Uh, I have taken a picture of Ramanujacharya here. So Ramanujacharya, when he was very young, while he was like 5 to 6 years old, uh, during that time, uh, all the Gurukulas were run by the Mayavadis and the impersonalists. And these Mayavadis used to have these Gurukulas, and in some of this Gurukula, Ramanujacharya was also studying. And in his guru's name was Yadavacharya. Yadavacharya was a follower of Mayavad, and he used to teach in that school. So there is this Upanishad which was being taught in the class that day. It was Chandogya Upanishad, verse 1.6.7. So what I want to share in this story is the Sanskrit is a very complex language, and it is said that one word in Sanskrit can have 16 meanings. So it is very important to understand Sanskrit. That's why I said that Sanskrit or the Srimad Bhagavatam or Gita has to be heard from a devotee. And if we hear this scriptures from a non-devotee, it meanings can be interpreted in a very wrong way. And there have been this uh, uh, saying from various senior devotees that the milk is very pious and it is very good for health, especially the cow milk. But if that cow milk is touched by a snake, it becomes poison. Similarly, all these important scriptures have to be studied in the guidance of devotees and should be heard from a paramparic system. So I'll share that example. So this Chando Gaya Upanishad, there is this verse 1.6.7, Tasya yatha kapyasam pundarikamave makshini. So this shloka in actuality means about, talks about the beautiful eyes of the Lord. But how Yadavacharya speaks about this shloka. Uh, so here this word I want to draw your attention is tasya yatha kapyasam. Kapyasam. So this word was interpreted in such a wrong way by Yadavacharya. So Yadavacharya said kapi means monkey and asam means back end. So he compared the eyes, the beautiful eyes of the Lord, by the back end of a monkey, the monkeys which are there in Vrindavan, which is reddish in color. So he compared the eyes of Lord with the backside of monkey. So as we can understand here, the Mayavadis are not interested in the personal forms of the Lord. So by hearing this, Ramanujacharya became very sad and he was weeping while messaging his guru in the evening. And from his eye, hot tears fell down on the body of Yadavacharya. And Yadavacharya felt a very warming sensation. And he told Yadavacharya, asked him why, and he was one of the favorite shishyas of Yadavacharya. Ramanujacharya was a very dear Sishya of Yadavacharya. So he asked, why are you crying? What happened? Then Ramanujacharya said, the explanation you have given about the Lord is not correct. You have given wrong meaning of word kapasam. Kapi can be understood to mean that which takes water from everywhere. And let's see, at such a young age, Ramanujacharya had such a strong understanding of Sanskrit. So he says the word kapi can also be understood that which takes water from everywhere. Who takes water from everywhere? The sun. And the word asam means to blossom. So the word here kapiyasam can be understood that which blossoms under the sun. In other words, the lotus flower. So here the eyes of the Lord is compared with lotus flower, not with a monkey. So the teacher got very angry with Ramanujacharya and he asked him to quit the school. Then Ramanujacharya left that school and he started understanding all the shastras from a devotee. So,
Hare Krishna, my Prabhu. Prabhu, sorry to cut you there.
yes, Prabhu.
Just try to conclude, Prabhu. We are overshooting the time.
Yes, Prabhu. I am
Sorry,
done.
Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
I'm just done, Prabhu. Thank you
Yes,
very
yes,
much
go on.
for a reminder, Prabhu. So, so from this sloka, we all understand that we have to hear the shastras under the guidance of the devotees who follow the uh, paramparic system. With that, I want to uh, stop. Thank you very much, everyone. Any questions? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, my Prabhu. Wonderful class. And I'm really sorry that I had to stop you there.